Right, what have we got today? Well, it's a whopper one. It's so big I can't do that. Normal thing, I've got to do that. So it's an absolute whopper today. Today it should be a quick one anyway. I'll try and keep this, 10 minutes-ish. I really will try, I promise. It is the Wera Hex Plus L key set. So L key because they are L-shaped, and it's a full set of the hexes. Now the other Hex Plus, which is a slightly different profile. So here's a VHAR here. Normal hex is, well, it's hexagonal, that's why it gets the name hex. These are slightly different, so you will notice that they are slightly bowed in between the 2 points. The idea behind it is it's supposed to give you more surface contact. I find I don't notice a difference on normal fasteners if the fastener is gummed up or some idiots put the wrong size in and forced it and been an idiot, or to release one of those irritating buttons, soft top fasteners or stainless steel, something like that. I find them an advantage for me. Does it mean you've got to get Hex Plus? Of course it doesn't. I realise that. There's nothing wrong with the Hex key if it's the right size. But in those specific sets of circumstances, I find the Hex Plus better. Therefore, I thought I'll just get this set. I'll be better off with a set. I've got loads of cheapy ones from bikes and cars and all sorts of things like that. And I've got the VHAR here, and I've got some other little smaller Wera ones and some PB Swiss stuff, but it's more like the security stuff. But I just thought I'll get the full set. So, with that in mind, this is the Wera, or Wera if you want to use the German pronunciation. This is the full set. And the actual set it is the 950/9. So if you're looking it up, especially on their website, go for the Hex Plus, and this happens to be the multicolour. When they say multicolour, they mean that the plastic sleeves over the handles, which is part of the Take It Easy tool finder. I'll cover what that is, and it's the the HF1. HF1, I think there must be an HF2. HF just stands for holding function, and I'll go over what that is because there is a ball bearing on some of them, not all of them, but some of them. So let's have a quick look at the box. So you've got the Hex Plus at the top here. Here's an overview of what you get. There is a holder in there. It's a bit cheap, and I'll discuss that. Like I say, it's Hex Plus. Now, can you see there? It's slightly bowed in from the cardinal points there. So like I say, that works for me on crappy fasteners, awful shallow button tops that people have ruined and things like that. It does have a ball end, so there's your normal end, but you do have a ball end. The whole point of a ball end, and I'll show you in a moment, is you can, if you're slightly offset or you can't get the angle that you want due to bad engineering or some idiots put something in the way, that can be an advantage. But I'll mostly be using that to get the maximum torque. And then it does have the holding function, which we'll go over, and Take It Easy tool finder. So you have these colours, which I did notice they had on the torque set with the security set that I had. Just saves a bit of time. So enough of me waffling. Here's the rest of the box. We'll quickly go over it. So you have there's your Hex Plus description. Yeah, if you've got fouled edges, it can help. And then you've got the offset function of the ball end, so you can put it in, and it's just when you can't get flat on. It's okay when you're working at a desk on a piece of machinery, but when you're out and about in the field, that's not always the case, and it's a bit of an irritation. So I find that can be helpful for me. And then you have the Take It Easy tool finder, so it's color coded, so you can quickly go to the colors that you get used to the colors that you need. And then it has the holding function. In other words, your fastener can stay connected because of the friction provided by the ballpoint. And there's a rundown of what you get. So if you notice, those are HF, those aren't. So you've got a 1.5mm, a 2mm, 2.5, then 3 and above have the holding function. The smaller ones don't. Reason for that is they have to put a minute little ball bearing in. It'll be more irritating for them. So what they've done is the holding function is only for this. They could have maybe provided a holding function by tapering the end, because some holding function bits that you can get have a tapered edge, so the further up towards the handle you get, there's a slight difference in diameter, very, very slight, and it provides some holding, but they haven't done that in this instance. So there you go. And there's the rest of the stuff on the bottom there. So it's saying they're not like these through tang tools where you can whack them with hammers. Don't use them as a pry bar. Yeah, please don't do that, even the small ones. Wear gloves and eye protection. I don't know about that for just taking the fastener off, but there you go. Okay, so I've waffled enough. Let's see what you get. So I put this back in the box. I have used this, obviously, but only for a brief period of time at work. And I used, was it this 10 or 5? I think it was the 4. I've been using that on, there's this irritating fastener I've got on a tripod. It's a nuisance. It keeps coming undone, so I've been using that to keep tightening it. it's untightened itself, even though I've used blue Loctite, so thread locker. So if anyone knows how I can get around that, so I've used blue thread locker. I don't want to use red, you know, because it's going to gum up, you know, forever potentially. And yes, I did let it cure, and it is the right metal, so I don't know what's gone wrong there. But anyway, I'm getting bogged down here, so put that to one side. You get, you know, a little sticker there, so you can, I don't know, put it on your bicycle helmet so you don't get bullied at school or something. I don't know. Get rid of that bush. Get rid of the box. Right, let's look at the item itself. So here it is here, and it comes with its own holder, and this flips out, so this retention thing goes up like that. Not very good though. Look, it goes up too easy. Look, that can be knocked up. I just knocked that with my thumb straight up. Not very good. So I don't like that. And then that flips out. So then you've got the whole lot here. So you've got from the 1.5. This is the metric one. So when they say 1.5, they're on about millimeters. So 1.5 mil up to 10. I haven't used the 10. I think the highest I went was the red off the top of my head, and I've been using not that one there. I've been using the is this the 4 mil? The 4 mil for that bloody tripod, which has been annoying. And in that regard, let's just see what the wear profile's like. So we'll have a good look at that. I didn't use the ball end, I used this end, so let's see if there's any wear on this. I've done this in 4K HDR. There's maybe a tiny little bit on the cardinal points, a tiny, you see that there? Other than that, yeah, a little bit there, maybe. This does have what they call a laser coating. I think what they mean like a PVD, so physical vapor deposition. In other words, they use a laser to heat it, and it deposits this black coating. That may be what it is. They're not. I'm not claiming that because they don't actually say that on their website. And as you can see, if I can get it to focus, I'll do that. It is Hex Plus. It's harder to see on that though. See how it slightly bows in. Apologies for the poor workmanship here on my camera abilities, but no problems with it. Brilliant. Like I say, I was using this on that damn fastener, and it has these sleeves. These are like a plastic. They're okay. They're not that soft. I don't think this is going to cause a problem in thickness. It certainly adds to the thickness of the tool if you look. So, you know, like sometimes when you get these VDE screwdrivers, which are supposed to isolate you away from electricity, a lot of them, sometimes when you try and get in certain electrical things, the red coating gets in the way, whereas this is probably less likely on this sort of fastener. But I'd like to have seen this a little bit thinner. So just so you can see, that's how that looks. And bearing in mind this is a 4 mil, just so you know what you're looking at here. So on a 4 mil, look how much that does add to the width. It gives you a pretty good grip. I don't think it's about grip, even though they call this ergonomic. I think, to me anyway, what this is about is I can say, right, I need a yellow and a purple for today because I know that those are the fasteners. I can put them to one side and I can work on something and go, right, small one, yellow, right, purple, yellow, purple. That saves me a bit of time. I do like that. What I don't like is how hard it is to get these damn things in and out. Watch. You've really got to, you know, it's like, you know, trying to do a workout, trying to get them out. So although this opens too easily, which is strange, so this opens too easily, you can just knock that and it opens. Trying to get the tools out, look, it's not good, even though this is rubberized. You know, this is rubberized, so you'd think they could just get the tolerances right and just have the friction of the rubberization keeping them in. I don't know why that happens to be the case, whereas this feels cheap. I thought this might have been a magnetizer. It isn't, like you can get on a lot of the tools. That's just a connection point, so you can connect it to your belt or a lanyard or something like that. I mean, other than that, I'm pretty happy with them. Like I say, I don't think this is good enough, and it's a bit tough to get them in and out. You know, when you try to pull them in and out, try this one. I mean, that's, you know, it's like trying to do a workout. I mean, other than that, the tools themselves are nice. I mean, let's have a look. You can see much more there. See how that's bowed in? So you can see it's Hex Plus. So that is a good profile. You can probably see better if I do it like that. Let's try and get it to focus. There, you can sort of see it there. So like I say, you don't need Hex Plus. However, it can have advantages. So just bear that in mind. Okay, so you do have the ball head. Like I say, if you're trying to work offset, so you can't get on exactly like that, you might have to be just off to the side. You've got things in the way. This gives you the ability to do that, and it will still work as long as you're not too far off. And it does have the holding function. So the holding function on this works by you know, having this ball bearing here, and it's sort of spring mounted. Watch if I can get it to focus. So you see it does push down, pushes in, and then comes back again. So I have tried that on 2 connectors. It did work. There's not a lot more to say on that. Some people might say, well, they prefer the tapered variety of holding function. I prefer this because it doesn't damage it. It doesn't damage your connector, whereas the other one is going to be a slight damage depending on how you do that, or the softness and cheapness of that connector. So I prefer this, but that's just a personal thing. And it does work, or it worked for me anyway, as long as you're picking the right size. So you've got your holding function there. It's got the easy tool finder, which I like, and it's got enough of your stuff on there. So 6HF Hex Plus. So Hex Plus is the profile, 6mm is the diameter of the 2 widest points here, well, the 2 flat parts, and then you have HF for holding function. Just bear in mind the smaller ones don't have holding function, so, but that's just because once they get so small, then you're not going to get a ball bearing that small. You could do it, but it's not going to work as well. So I'm pretty impressed. I mean, to give these a mark out of 10, I'll say I've used, was it this one? I think it was this one at work. And I used this one on the camera tripod, which was a damn nuisance. I'm trying to get a nice close look for where I can't see any. But obviously bear in mind that this laser coating will come off. The whole point of these laser coatings basically is to lessen. It's never ever going to prevent forever, because if you use a tool, this is going to come off, and it lessens the need for having to oil your tools. If this was bare, I'd probably stick a bit of ballistol on it or something like that. That's just what I use. I like ballistol because I used to use it on a lot of knives because it's food safe, or it's more food safe than a lot of the other stuff. Like break free or other stuff like that. So really, I'm very impressed. Like I say, I'm not impressed with this. I'm going to mark them down for that, and it's not easy to get them out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give them a 7. You're probably thinking, hang on, I thought you loved Wera. I do, but I'm not a brand snob. I will never be a brand snob. If something's rubbish, it's rubbish. If you remember when I compared the Wera stubby with the carousel in it, there it is there. Yes, it's fine, but it's surpassed by these. I would say that the workmanship on the VR is higher, although it does use those proprietary bits which are double-ended, which is annoying because when you put a normal one in, they fall down. But okay, and then the PB Swiss was better than them all workmanship-wise. It depends what you're after and how much you're willing to spend. But I think if you want a decent set and you want to get into this Hex Plus, these are decent. I just wish that they'd fix this and fix the tolerances on this. Other than that, I really like them. I've had no problems, used them. And if anyone knows, can you stick in the bottom what I need to do about that damn fastener? It's a hex fastener. I tried the blue sort of thread locker, didn't work. I did let it cure, and it is the right sort of metal, so I don't know. And I don't want to go the red route, and then it can never be undone. So if you know, can you stick that in the bottom section? But in regards to this review, I'll give them a 7. I'm being fair there, and you get your little sticker there, so you can, I don't know, stick that in your car or whatever if you want to be cool. And I think they've done a decent job, but they could do better. So okay job, Wera. Keep up the good work, but I would definitely replace this holder. It cheapens the whole thing, which is a shame. It is rubberized, which I appreciate, but if it's rubberized, then these should be a lot easier to get in and out, and they're not. Look, I'm having to, Superman, Man of Steel, get it out there. There you go, and eventually you get it out. But other than that, they feel decent. Ball end gives you a lot more options. I really appreciate that. In fact, I'll show you. I'll take the biggest one out, and then you get a nice close view. So we're in 4K here, so let's have a good look at that. You can see some of the machining marks there. You see them, those striation marks? But decent. I haven't used this big blue on the 10mm, and there's the holding function. If you look just to the top of that holding function, it looks like there's a tiny little bit of a bash. I presume that they've done that to hold that ball bearing. That may be the method they've used. So you insert it, it just fits, and then you whack it, and then it won't come out. So fair enough. So pretty decent, and there it is there, flat on the end. And then the bigger end, the end which you'd probably be more using. And then you can see the holding function probably if I get it to focus. Let's get that to focus a bit. There. It's hard to see because it's black here and I haven't got enough light, but see, that's pretty decent. Anyway, I've waffled on quite long enough here, so I'll give them 7. I would say 7 out of 10. I would improve this. That definitely needs improving because it comes off too easy, and then in your bag it's flapping open. And make it easier to get them in and out. But obviously you still want it secure enough. I mean, how I get them out is I rotate the one that I want, or let's say I wanted that one, I'd rotate them and then I just pull up and then yank it out. But it's not easy, or it's not as easy as it should be. And like I say, the smaller ones, here's one of the smaller ones, no holding function on that. So they're so small, there is no holding function, so just be aware of that. But even the size of that, look, that sleeve does add quite a bit, doesn't it? Let's get focused in here, it's quite a bit there. But I think 7's a fair mark, and I will be using these more. Like I say, I do have other hex, systems, but I just like to have a set to hand. Like I did the same with the security bits that I think I reviewed them on this channel, which was the Torx, and I quite like them. I like them better than these. I think this is worse, and you don't have a magnetizer or anything like that. But 7 out of 10. If you think, well, they're rubbish, Bondis are better, or VR are better, or whatever, stick it in the comments section, and I'll have a look at their offering, because I'm always looking for whatever's the best, and I will look at that. And yes, I realise there's a PB Swiss set, but they're mega expensive. So, bear in mind, I'm not a billionaire here. I'm just an average guy. So 7 out of 10. Well done. Stick it in the comments if you want me to look at other tool stuff. And thank you very much for joining me. Goodbye.